And there's a lot going on weather-wise tonight.
Yeah. Betsy and the team very busy this evening. You okay, Betsy?
There's been a lot of click-clacking on keyboards and whatnot today. Yeah, a lot of running around. So, as always with winter storms, they are evolving. We forecast them based on the way that we think it's going to go, and then once it really starts to happen, things morph and change, and the storm kind of does its own thing. And really, when we start to boil it down into various alerts, these are the technicalities of the storm system. The technicalities meaning what's the difference between 1/10 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch of ice, or the difference between 4 inches of snow and 6 inches of snow in a certain time period. It really doesn't matter once you get into these fine details. We're going to have impacts all over Northeast Ohio. The upgrade to the winter storm warning is significant because that really highlights areas where we have a better chance for a higher ice impact, and that would be the freezing rain that is starting to fall now. That's Lorain, Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, and Ashtabula counties. We have already seen icing taking place out west into Port Clinton. The rest of the area is still under the winter weather advisory. It doesn't mean it's going to be any easier or any less of an impact for you. It's just a matter of how much falls in a certain amount of time. So don't get caught up in all of those. That's why we always say, don't get caught up in the numbers. Let's look at the impacts, and that's what we are doing. Just like we told you yesterday, road travel, very high impacts. As a matter of fact, ODOT is asking folks to not go on the roads right now, so that will give their crews a chance to get some salt laid down and get things pre-treated here as the freeze is on. Air travel, we haven't heard any major cancellations or delays out at the airport. School closings for tomorrow, we have bumped it up to the high category now. Power outages still low. We're watching that situation, and we could start to see that change as we go through the evening. Just taking a quick scan around town, we do have a lot of very wet roadways, and where we have the temperatures that are now at or below freezing, which is a good part of the area, this is what will start to happen. This is in Toledo, where they have had the ice now for about the past few hours, and you can see the icing that takes place, especially on the north and northwest facing cameras. That is a big key. South facing steps, probably not as bad as north facing steps. You get where I'm going with that. So definitely know your directions. We're starting to see a few problem spots on the roads, and this will get worse as the evening goes on. Again, ODOT asking you to stay off of the highways so they can treat. Where you see the purple, that's the freezing rain threat, and that is where we already have temperatures at or below freezing. We'll get a period of sleet moving in and then snow later tonight. Matt's going to be along with more on that. We are starting to see some breaks in the precipitation, but the cold air is still very much here. That is huge because all the standing water that we have now, all the wet surfaces are going to be freezing up. 30 now in Port Clinton. Look at this, 30 in the Cuyahoga County Airport. I put a few other spots in here. 32 now at freezing in most of Cleveland and areas east. That cold air continues to bleed south. It's now 53 in Dover. You're going to be in the 30s in no time. And Worcester underwent a major drop here in the last hour or so. Potential snow and ice. This is that icing, the glazing of freezing rain. This is the threat for the night tonight, for this evening. Then later tonight, as things continue to cool and freeze up, we'll have a flash freeze. That means that standing water will be freezing, and then we're going to throw some snow on top of everything, just like icing on a cake. So in the 30s now, but we're going to be in the 20s early morning and dropping back into the teens. So that's one of the reasons that we could get that flash freeze going on. And yes, we will have accumulations, not only of the ice, like I showed you, that glazing coming, but we're going to put some snow on top of it. And Matt has more on that part of the forecast.
Yeah, that's right. And something to keep in mind, Betsy, you mentioned, those temperatures obviously coming down. Our pavement temps are lagging just a little bit behind those air temps because we had temps in the 50s today and some rain on top of that. So it's going to be about an hour or two behind in terms of that icing. And that's already what we're seeing off towards the north. As we go through time this evening, the rain eventually heads on out. We may get a brief break around 8:30 to 9:30. Doesn't mean we're going to see less impacts from that, but we're certainly going to see less precip falling from the sky, at least temporarily. We turn to snow overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be all snow across Northeast Ohio, and it'll be exiting. We're not expecting a lot in terms of snow. May see some lake enhancement along the lakes. Look at temperatures, though. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., 13 Elyria, 16 Akron, Canton. That is the problem because all the water we had today, All the water that didn't drain into the drain where it's supposed to go is going to be ice tomorrow morning. That continues as we don't warm tomorrow. We are going to lose the snow. We're going to say hello to some sunshine later in the day, so there's that. But it's going to be a very deceiving sun as temperatures make a struggle to get to the low 20s tomorrow afternoon. Another system zips in here. Friday night, winds are going to start to pick up again with an Alberta Clipper that moves in. So we get windy Friday night. Saturday during the early morning hours, most of us sleeping. We'll have a pretty good dose of snow that comes through northeast Ohio. Notice temperatures 4 a.m. Saturday near 30. Watch what happens behind this Clipper. We're back into the teens in a matter of hours as we get into the early morning hours and then eventually afternoon on Saturday. In terms of snowfall, not a lot. We'll have to keep our eye on some of the lakeshore counties with lake enhancement. Quick pick up a couple inches up there, perhaps on the 3 to maybe as much as 5 range over the next 24 to 48 hours. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. You notice that temp drop Saturday. Sunday, Monday, we're in the 40s to near 50. What a bounce back. It'll be nice and well-deserved after this system moves through. Jimmy's got a lot to cover in sports coming up after this.